This is KGW News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Folkers. We begin tonight with the Omicron Outlook along the West Coast. Some cases of the new variant have been confirmed in Washington and California, but Oregon is clear for now. Galen Etlin joins us live in studio, and Galen, experts are kind of holding their breath right now.
Yes, Brittany, they are not sure what's about to happen with this. There are just so many unknowns with this new variant. Today, though, Dr. Anthony Fauci told CNN early data show Omicron is less dangerous than Delta. We do know it's spreading pretty quickly, but it's not clear how it could impact Oregon with our overall case numbers dropping right now. Experts do say, though, there's a good place to start. People lined up Sunday morning to get their COVID vaccines and boosters.
So I'm really proud to see all the cars lined up here today.
That's John George of the Confederated Tribe of Grand Ronde, working with Wood Village and Oregon Health Authority to operate this high-volume vaccination site on the tribe's land.
It's nice to see that people actually are getting vaccinated.
The site on the former Multnomah Greyhound Park runs through Saturday the 11th, one of about a dozen in the works around the state offering Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson shots for both kids and adults. You do not need an appointment. The vaccination effort is ramping up as Omicron COVID cases pop up nearby.
We have been saying it's not a matter of if, but when, that we would find Omicron in our state.
The Washington State Department of Health confirmed 3 Omicron cases Saturday, making it the 13th state to detect the highly contagious variant.
I hope I'm wrong, but I expect we'll see many more cases in the coming weeks.
Early studies show the Omicron variant is easily spread, but there's no evidence it makes people sicker or that it resists vaccines. Oregon has not reported an Omicron case yet, and the Delta variant remains dominant nationwide. OHSU predicts the overall number of new COVID infections in Oregon will keep falling through February, but it is unclear if Omicron will impact that. Researchers also believe only about 18% of Oregonians are still susceptible to the virus. In the meantime, health experts on all levels urge people to get boosted and vaccinated. And leaders,
my role here today is to say thank you.
Like Mayor Scott Hardin in Wood Village, hope people continue prevention with masking.
We'll know that we did everything, we achieved great things despite the pandemic.
A world away from this time last year, with cases now trending down and vaccinations trending up.
Protect their own health, the health of their families, and the health of the people that they interact with every day in our community.
Now, these new vaccine clinics are ramping up this and next week with locations all over the state, and a lot are walk-in friendly if you're getting your first shots or your booster. We've got a full list of those on KGW.com right now. And if you do prefer to make an appointment instead, you can check your pharmacy or getvaccinated.oregon.gov or call your health provider. Brittany?
All right, Galen, thank you. The rise in deadly crashes in the Portland area continues, with at least 2 deaths in just the past 24 hours. The first happened early this morning along I-205. Officers were called to the Southeast Powell Boulevard off-ramp around 3:20 this morning. They say a Honda left the road and hit a tent with a homeless person inside. The person in that tent was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and the cause of the crash is currently under investigation. Then a couple hours later, just before 6 in the morning, police found a man dead in a vehicle in Northeast Portland. Officers say the vehicle crashed into a power pole at Northeast Portland Highway and 45th Avenue. However, it's unclear if it was the crash that killed him. The Oregon State Medical Examiner is trying to figure out what happened. Tonight, we focus in on the young people who are part of our homeless community. Multnomah County doesn't have official numbers, but estimates homelessness affects thousands of kids and teens. Christelle Kumwe shares how local nonprofits helped one of those young Portlanders break the cycle.
Multnomah County estimates that 2,000 people 25 years and younger are experiencing homelessness.
It was still really stressful and pretty traumatizing.
Forrest Rio was one of them.
But when I was on the streets, it was downtown.
They called the streets of downtown Portland home for a little less than a year.
It took a while for me to acknowledge myself as being somebody that needed help, but I definitely did need help.
Finding food or access to basic needs was a constant struggle.
You can't really hold down a job when you're on the streets either, so it's like hard to make it to another place in life.
County officials say 93% of homeless youth have either mental health or addiction issues. That's something Forrest says they saw firsthand.
I found that things were getting worse. Like a lot of my friends were getting into drug use and things like that, and I didn't want to fall into that. So I really realized that I needed to get off the streets.
They reached out to local nonprofits, including New Avenues for Youth.
So our programs are built to meet young people along the spectrum, whether they're at risk of homelessness or they're experiencing homelessness. We're meeting them where they are and helping them to get where they want to go.
Don't let your pride get in the way of getting the help you need. There is nothing wrong with needing a helping hand.
A helping hand from nonprofits helped Forrest land back on their feet.
NAFI helped me out. I got involved with PAVE. And that's how I got in with this job, really, is doing the job readiness program and making it into Ben & Jerry's.
This Ben & Jerry's on Southwest Yamhill provides job training for homeless and at-risk young adults working with New Avenues for Youth. Forrest is now a manager at the shop. They want to let other youth out on the streets know there's hope.
Sometimes it does feel pretty hopeless out there. It does, and it's sad. But even when you're at rock bottom, things can make themselves better.
Multnomah County currently has capacity to serve about 1,100 homeless youth annually. But county officials say with new investments in supportive housing services, they expect to be able to serve about 250 more youth each year. I'm Christelle Kumwe for KGW News.
At least one person has died in a plane crash in a parking lot close to the Medford airport. Police say the 9-passenger propeller plane crashed into a Chevy dealership. Police first said only one person was on board, but later said it was not known, quote, how many souls were on board. A person living nearby says they heard the whole thing happen.
I was in my room and then I heard the plane descending and then I heard just a big thud. So I was like, was that a plane crash? My neighbors went on their roof and they said that there was a fire. So I got up on top of the roof as well and I saw flames.
Police don't believe anyone on the ground was injured. A new report puts a spotlight on the agency that certifies police officers here in Oregon. An audit from the Secretary of State's office found the state agency isn't doing all it should to train and oversee police. Tim Gordon has the key details.
The audit of the agency overseeing policing in Oregon was conducted in the spring, and the results are now out. The Department of Public Safety Standards and Training, or DPSST, provides a 4-month basic training program for officers. But the audit found in terms of further training and officer oversight, the agency is lacking.
And this audit really reinforces how important greater police accountability is to increasing public confidence in our law enforcement.
Secretary of State Shemia Fagan began a short news conference this week by recognizing the need for improvements. One key area is with investigations of officers. The audit found DPSST has improved rules and procedures to hold officers accountable, yet narrow definitions and gaps exist. For instance, the agency can decertify officers, but criteria for doing so is limited. The report notes, police officer competency, use of excessive force, or use of force resulting in death do not automatically trigger a certification review. An example in the audit showed that only one officer's actions may have met the standard for review among 57 Portland Police Bureau officer-involved shootings and in-custody deaths from 2004 to 2018. And right now, most initial investigations of officers are done by local departments.
We did find that they do have the authority to conduct their own investigations, and it'd probably be in the best interest of the state for them to conduct those, especially those that make the public view.
Another finding that the agency does not adequately provide or monitor ongoing training for officers, also mostly left to local control. Auditors found that DPSST is understaffed for all it should be doing. Fagan says this audit is a first step to changing that.
Today's report clearly outlines key steps that DPSST and law enforcement partners must take to improve performance and build trust with Oregonians.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.
And if you're interested in learning more about this audit and its results, we have that for you on KGW.com. You can even read the full audit for yourself. Another option for you to support your local makers this holiday season, the 8th edition of My People's Market opened today in Southeast Portland. The event was organized by Travel Portland and Prosper Portland, and it takes place at the Red on Salmon. The market is a pathway for entrepreneurs of color to connect with the travel industry and to network with others to expand their businesses. It features food, fashion, home goods, art, and more. Owners we talked with say they make it a point to attend My People's Market.
Because I want to be around my peoples, and I want y'all to come and support my people. The market's great. It's everyone respects each other's space. You can really learn a lot about the other vendors. We're showcasing a new sauce. It's a chocolate habanero honey that we haven't put out yet, so it's available here at this market only right now.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Chocolate habanero honey, yum. And if you missed this week's market, don't worry, there are 2 more before Christmas, so you can get that perfect local item for your loved ones. Those take place the next 2 Sundays at the Red off Salmon.